Hi guys. Let me just make sure my camera is clean. 1 second. Okay. Hello everybody. It is Duchess. I'm gonna get some lip gloss. It is Duchess. This is my channel, Dutchess Divinity, and we do lots of stuff here, but today I'm gonna talk about embodiment, manifestation, and do some tarot reading and Reiki for that. 1 second, let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Okay, back. Hi, Kenna. Hi. Let me get some water, too, before we start. Okay. I'm going to turn off the chat so that I do not get distracted. But thanks for the likes, guys. I see the likes coming in. But if one of the moderators could put the actual definition of embodiment, I would really appreciate that. And then I will look back at it in a minute. All right, let me turn this off. Okay, so today is the Chinese Lunar New Year. And then we have the new moon on January 29th, if you're watching this in real time. And then we also had the planetary alignment, where we just had like all these planets going into alignment, and which was exhausting for me. I don't know about for anyone else. Like, I know some people felt very energized by that, but I felt very exhausted by the planetary alignment. But anyway, something I want to talk about is embodiment. So I feel like I personally, okay, so I really like Arcanum LA or Arcanum Life. Brooke, she's a small business owner as well, and she talks a lot about manifestation. And basically she explained the difference between hustling and manifestation. And so she was saying hustling is, here's Sunday. Say hi, Sunday. My baby. So basically, hustling is when you have not broken down the thought patterns in your mind that maybe have to do with lack or, you know, negative self-talk or anything along the lines that's kind of holding you back from reaching your goals. You haven't broken that down, but you're able to work really hard and basically hustle your way to what it is that you're trying to create. But then that's when you have those experiences where you have like imposter syndrome, where you feel like you don't deserve what you've earned, or like you're not equipped to deal with what you've earned, or you know, you get everything and then you can't enjoy it because you still have those negative thought processes or patterns in your mind. Now, I definitely did that. I definitely was in a state of fight or flight when everything locked down. And I went into like full hustle mode, and I, you know, did a lot of stuff that I had never done before. I had started my business. I was taking solo vacations. I was doing all this amazing stuff, but like literally, just an example, one time I booked this room and it was like super discounted. I don't know why. It was regularly like a $600 room, and I got it for like $150 a night. And I got there and I spent the first 24 hours just crying about how I felt like I didn't deserve to be in this nice freaking room, and how like all I could think about was how I had used to be homeless and how I was like a couch hopper, and now I'm in this like luxury hotel room that, quite frankly, I like could not at the time, and still like right in this moment can't afford a $600 hotel room by myself. Like, that's like $600 a night. That's not in my budget. That's like pretty much my rent now. Obviously it's a little more than that, but you know what I mean. Like that's a whole month in the house I live in rather than one night in like a luxury hotel. So it was like, even though I had manifested this and this was a gift from my spirits and, you know, a gift from my higher self, I couldn't enjoy it because I didn't break down, you know, the thought patterns in my mind that about who I used to be. So like when I was struggling just to survive and just to exist in this reality, and then two, just like all those negative voices in my head that have been embedded in me since I was young from like different, you know, ABUSE, and like whether it was like people in my life or situations, I just didn't feel worthy. basically. And so even though I had hustled my way and manifested those situations into my life, I had not broken down those extremely negative thought patterns that eventually then begin to create your reality. So even though in that moment I had created this really beautiful moment, I was then counter creating all this like strife and guilt and shame and all this other stuff so that I couldn't even enjoy the really beautiful moment that I had created. So Brooke was like kind of talking about that, and I'll link her channel after. She's great. She just did a really amazing podcast around like guilt suffering and like if you're doing good while other people are doing bad, and when you kind of like create your own suffering because you feel like you don't deserve it because other people are going through a hard time. So for example, it's like with the people that are dealing with the fires in LA or the people that are in active war zones, it's basically like saying like, oh, well, I feel guilty that I'm not experiencing that suffering, but someone else is. So now I need to create like guilt and shame suffering within myself to basically like, it's martyring, right? It's torture the body to save the soul. And I think a lot of that comes back to like old past lives where religion used to be very focused on that, and religion was the focus of life, and it was very much torture the body to save the soul. You must martyr yourself. You can't enjoy anything good in life if you want to enjoy the kingdom of heaven, yada yada, all that stuff. And so I think not only is that something that is constantly hammered into us and we're constantly berated about, like by the 1%, right? Like the 1% will sit here all day and tell you what a piece of shit you are if you don't like reduce, reuse, recycle, and how you shouldn't eat meat and you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that. Meanwhile, they're like on private jets ripping holes straight through the ozone layer and, you know, doing all this stuff that's way more harmful for the environment than like their karmic footprint of their lifetime is something that regular people like us wouldn't reach for several lifetimes. So it's like we're getting hammered with this in everyday life by people who are richer than us, so they think that they're better than us, and they feed off of our suffering, and they feed off of us feeling like we're not enough, and they feed off of us feeling bad. Like they literally feed off of that, like energy vampires, and some of them are real freaking vampires, literally feeding off of us and our children. But I digress. And then I swear, I'm convinced, nobody has to agree with me, but I am convinced that the cell towers put out subconscious signals. So I'm convinced that they put out signals like buy, consume. Like in They Live, in that movie They Live, where he puts on the sunglasses and he can see the truth behind all of the ads and like who's like a bad person and who's a good person, who's been infiltrated by evil and who's still just like a regular human. I swear the cell towers do that. I swear they put out like body dysmorphia. I swear they put out like be depressed, you're not enough, you'll never be enough, you'll never be successful. Like I'm convinced. And I'm convinced too that like when we see mass waves of people like losing it, I think it's because they're upping the subliminal signals that they're putting in the cell tower. So like how they did that really weird thing on October 4th where they said all these warnings and people were saying that they were activating NaNO bot technology within people that had been put in them with the V. And a lot of people freaked out from that, and a lot of people, like, I remember there's like times when after people had gotten the V where people were like biting each other and people were saying, oh, it's real life zombies, and it's like, I swear when like weird shit happens like that, the weak-minded people that some people would call NPCs, it's like they're kicking up on the cell tower subliminals, and then the weak-minded NPCs like pick up on that frequency whether they have NaNO bot technology in them or not. They're just weak-minded, and then they start doing crazy shit like biting people for no reason, you know? And like yeah, so that's like my personal belief. So, and then to like add all the collective stuff of all the stuff that they're constantly doing to try and keep us sick and keep us unable to rise against them. So like whether it's the CHEM trails, or it's the poison in our food, the poison in our air, the poison in our water, the poison in our pharmaceuticals, like whatever it is that they're throwing at us collectively, then we all have our own individual struggles as well. So it's like each one of us has our own family issues. Each one of us has our own personal issues. Each one of us has our own work issues, our own friendship issues. you name it, there's going to be some kind of issue. Like, nobody's life is perfect. It's just not, it's not how it is. If you're living in this polarized reality, things are going to be polarized, and that's just how it is. So it's like, I feel that like everything in life is constantly trying to crush us down and destroy any semblance of happiness or forward growth that we could have. So you can hustle your way through that, but if you don't get, the point of all this is, if you can hustle your way through that, but if you don't get to the core issues and actually do the inner work and find that like self-love and do the inner healing and find the true embodiment of what it is that you want to create, not what it is that you're experiencing right now in this moment in your 3D reality, then you'll never get past that, because there's so much working against you, right? There's so much oppression working against you from all levels, that if you don't do it from within, then you'll never be able to achieve it without. So I've been thinking about this a lot, because since Cornica passed away, I've had to do so much inner work. And for me personally, I've had to do a lot of inner work this year on body dysmorphia, because I did not even realize that I had like an ED or like something along those lines, because as you know, I've been diagnosed with many different mental health issues, but that was never one of them. And so I realized that like there's been points in my life where to cope, I've just like stopped eating, or there's been points in my life to cope where I've binged, or there's been points in my life when to cope I was like controlling my food because I felt like I couldn't control anything else, or I would just throw my diet away, including my allergy needs like with gluten and stuff like that, and just eat whatever I want and then feel like shit. So it's like I have had to do this major unpacking of my relationship with, and by the way, EDs run in my family. Like, I don't know how I never got, but you know what? I never got diagnosed with ADD until I was well out of school. There's a lot of shit I never got fucking diagnosed with that I should have been. And so it's like I had this major realization this year that like looking back on videos of myself when I'm like way too skinny for my body size and my body type, and I was looking at myself literally finding ways to call myself fat, and I was the farthest thing from fat. And you know, we're seeing all this crap right now with Ariana Grande, and I just don't like that everybody's like, you can't talk about her body. It's like, well, why not? She doesn't look well. And if you don't like that, I feel like you don't actually care about her, because now we're into the territory of like, you're Delulu if you think that like all her bones like protruding out of her body, her big bags under her eyes, her bony arms, like, and this is not to body shame, this is to say something's wrong. Something's wrong, whether it's a medical issue, an ED, whatever it is, being worked to the bone, whatever it is, it doesn't look healthy. It doesn't look healthy, and I don't think that should be controversial to say, and I think anybody who wants to sweep it under the rug and be like, don't talk about her body, like, you don't actually care about her. Because if you really cared about her, you would look at her through eyes of saying, I'm worried, like, this is not her baseline, and I'm concerned about her. So anyway, I've been unpacking a lot of that this year. I've been unpacking a lot of grief this year, which we've talked about a million times. So that's been something that, like, all my crutches have been taken from me, because Saturn is sitting directly on my moon, and it's teaching me how to not only control my emotions, but how to handle conflict, and also to, like, it's taken away all of my coping skills, like and not like regular coping skills, like any crutch that I might have had. Like, I'm not using any of the crutches I used in the past. So maybe I would smoke too much weed in the past, and like, or maybe, like I said, I would fall into this ED and like use that as like an unhealthy coping skill. And so basically this entire year has been me unpacking all my unhealthy coping skills, no longer crutch, or for some of you, you'll understand this, the twin flame. I fucking crutched on that shit so fucking hard all through the panini, because I needed something to believe in. I needed something to hold on to. I needed something to hope for. So it's like, I'm, for the first time in my life, not only just relying on myself, which I've done for most of my life, but releasing all my negative coping skill crutches that have perpetuated this negative internal environment within me emotionally. And so I've had to really think about embodiment and manifestation, and not just hustling through until I get what I want, but not doing the inner work. So that's what we're doing today. Is obviously I just told you everything I just told you, speaking about how I feel about embodiment, and I'm going to give you some tips on like what I've been doing for embodiment. But if somebody had put, I'm just going to check the chat really quick, because I asked any moderators in here too if they had the ability to look up the definition of embodiment, so we'll see if they've done that yet. Did anybody put the definition of embodiment? There's a lot of trolls in here, huh? Oh wait, I think we got it. Embody, to give a concrete form to, express, or personify. Ooh, I love that. To give a concrete form to, express, or personify. Right. So embodiment is literally, let me turn back off the chat. Embodiment is literally taking something that doesn't actually exist and then bringing it into the physical, right? And so, or something that does exist, so let's say it's like a certain archetype, like you want to be, let's just use this as an example, it's kind of cheesy, but let's say you want to be like a boss girl, like, or girl boss, whatever. Sound like a boomer. A boss girl. You want to embody that girl boss energy. So it's like, then you have to take that archetype and you have to bring it into physical form. And then sometimes if it's something that you've never experienced, then you have to literally create that feeling out of thin air. So something that I've been doing to support myself in this embodiment, like in understanding embodiment and then becoming what it is that I want my future to be, is I've been listening to subliminals, because like I was talking about the like cell towers and everything like that, I just feel like if we're getting hit subliminally anyway by advertisers or by the cell towers or by the 1%, and then our subconscious has already been reworked from everything, that all the struggles and hardships that we've experienced through our childhood, then it's like, why wouldn't I start re-impressing my subconscious with what I actually want it to be? So I've been listening to a lot of subliminals around what it is that I'm trying to create, whether that's money or wealth, or whether that's a healthy, happy relationship. And when I'm listening to these subliminals, I'll leave them in the background of what I'm doing a lot of the times. But if I want to focus on the frequency of the subliminal, I will literally feel like, what does that feel like? Like, travel down the timeline into the future where it is that you have what it is that you want. Remember to like the video too, guys, so more people from our community get the notification. But time is not linear. Let's think about time. I always call it time lasagna, and this is a really good reference for people especially who like are not spiritual. So when we think about time, it is not like past, present, future. It's layered. So it's like, here's the past, here's the present, here's the future. This is why people with like extreme trauma, they cannot tell, like it gets to a point when you have trauma where your brain literally can't tell the difference between right now, the past, or the future. Like, it's all scattered. And I had this piece of paper where what they did was they made the past these like white cubes, the present were these gray cubes, and the future were these black cubes. And in a healthy brain, past, present, future, they all stay in that order. But in a traumatized brain, you have like white cubes with the gray cubes and black cubes, and it's all confused because your brain got stuck in that moment. Basically, trauma is like you had an experience that was so disorienting and so life-changing that your brain wasn't able to process that situation, so it gets stuck. And that's why EMDR therapy or like hypnosis therapy has been helpful, because basically that experience, the way that the therapist described it to me is like it's like up here. I might be not getting this exactly right because I am not a doctor, I'm not a therapist, I didn't go to school for this, I just did a lot of therapy. But basically it gets stuck here, like around where like your frontal lobe is. And then usually when you have it, like let's say you go through a regular day today, you have a bunch of normal day experiences, it's like living right here, and then you go to sleep, and then it like transfers to the other parts of your brain, it's processed and it's put away, and that's it. When you have something traumatic happen, it gets, sorry, low power mode, when you have something traumatic happen, it gets stuck and it can't process properly. So that's why it can't tell the difference between like past, present, and future, because it never processed, right? So, in it never processing, it thinks it's constantly happening. And then also with trauma, it activates your lizard brain. Your lizard brain is your caveman brain. This is the part of your brain that saw a fucking dinosaur or a saber-toothed tiger or whatever, like back in caveman times, and was like, uh-oh, run, predator, you're gonna die. So it like, that part of your brain can't tell, like, it only has like safe or dead. Like, it doesn't have anything in between because it's the primitive caveman part of your brain, and that is what's activated when you're experiencing a trauma. And so not only is your lizard brain activated, which is interesting with everything we know about, like, reptilians and all that shit now, but not only is your lizard brain activated, but now the trauma's stuck, and it can never get through and process. And that's why EMDR therapy, like the rapid eye movement therapy, is helpful, because when you sleep is usually when these things process. So basically what happens is they simulate the rapid eye movement that you experience while you're sleeping, so that literally, I imagine it like a fax machine, like, you know how like you would take like, or like a printer, how it like goes like this and then like the page comes out the bottom. So basically it's physically taking that memory or that traumatic situation or whatever it is that you went through, and it is forcibly, but in a healthy, safe environment, forcibly shifting that traumatic moment from that part of your brain back into the caverns of your brain where it's supposed to land, where it can just be perceived as a normal event rather than a constant life-threatening event that your brain keeps telling you, you're gonna die, you're gonna die, you're gonna die, okay? So, why was I talking about this? Oh, subconscious, like working with subliminals. So, because my subconscious, as someone who's been traumatized, and I know a lot of people have been traumatized, as someone who has been traumatized, my subconscious has been impressed with those traumatic situations, not just from my adult life, but from my childhood. So I started listening to subliminals for things that I want to experience. So, the chat is, this is so weird. I don't have the chat on, but it just went from like 14 likes to 6 likes. So YouTube, you know, YouTube's playing games. Anyway, but, what was I saying? That's like that time if you were on that epic live where for some reason, like, the chat got stopped and there was like 200 people in here, and I thought there was like 2 people in here and nobody was talking to me, and I was just like running my mouth about, something that like, running my mouth about trans kids, and I thought no one was here, and then I looked back and I was like, what? There was like all these views and all these angry comments and everything like that. But anyway, I digress. So yes, I've been listening to subliminals, and that's been super helpful. And when I listen to them, I actually try to, oh yeah, I was talking about time lasagna. I actually try to, because if you believe in quantum physics, then you understand that time isn't linear and that it's all layered. So, with the time lasagna thing, if you can literally travel down the timeline to feel what it feels like on the other side of whatever it is that you're trying to create. So whether you just want to be happy and healthy and you've never had that in your life, if you can travel down somewhere to the end of the timeline where it is that you have achieved what it is that you desire, and you can truly feel that and embody that, not only in the moment when you're listening to the subliminals, but also throughout your day. So it's like you start. This is how I did it, because I was in a very dark place, obviously, with Cornica passing away. So I had to pull myself not only out of that darkness, but also out of all the triggers that came up of like lack mentality or my own like mental health issues and stuff from that. So I started out by just feeling that embodiment for a short period of time, even if you can only do 1 minute where you've achieved feeling what it would feel like to have what it is that you're trying to manifest, create, or embody. Even if you just get 1 minute, that's better than nothing. And then the next day you get 2 minutes, and the next day you get 3 minutes, and then before you know it, you've finished the entire 10-minute subliminal in that embodiment frequency. And then the next step is holding that embodiment throughout your day, whether you're listening to those subliminals or not. And then eventually your mind starts catching itself. So it's like you say something negative to yourself, and then you're able to say, well, that's actually not true. This is the truth about the negative lie that my mind just told me. And it's progression, right? Rome wasn't built in a day. So And then, too, if you're being hard on yourself for not finding that embodiment immediately, it's just counterproductive. So being kind to yourself during that and taking it one step at a time, like how I was talking about yesterday about going to the gym. You're not going to sign up for the gym, get a nutritionist, get a personal trainer, and sign up for all these things and then fail and then be like, well, I'm just an idiot who failed. It's like, no, you tried to do too much at once. Instead of taking one step at a time and doing, making one shift and one habit change at a time to a point where you could then take on the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. Because that's, I think, why people fail, because they try to do it all at once, or we're living in a time of instant gratification. So when people aren't getting the instant gratification that they seek, then they give up. And I've also been listening to this other guy, I'll link his channel. He was in prison for a while, and that's when he learned manifestation, because he realized that, like, he was literally in a cage and had lost his rights, and that when he would be freed from that cage and had his rights back, he didn't want to waste his life away. And that's when he started to gain control over his mind and realizing all these manifestation techniques. And he talks a lot about Neville Goddard and all of the studies and stuff that are based around this. And, he just talks all the time about how this is a simulation, it's a game, and that you stop being scared of problems because you recognize that if you basically imagined this problem into your life, or you subconsciously created this problem into your life, then you can imagine and subconsciously create a way out of it. And so then you stop, like, having these breakdowns or thinking that you'll never succeed or you'll never get out of this or this problem is so overwhelming, because you realize that you can just imagine your way out of it. And I know, and that's why I'm saying Rome is never built in a day, because like I was saying, I was homeless. I didn't just sit there and say, I imagine I'm myself in a house, and then I open my eyes, I'm in a house. No, it's a process. It's a process. But because we live in a physical reality, so it's like, it needs time to catch up. It needs to, as above, so below. Right? It needs to come from the ether, from your mind, from your subconscious, and then it needs to gradually build its way into your physical reality. So, although the veil is thinner than it's ever been, and opportunity is, I would say, riper than it's ever been with the internet. I mean, obviously the internet comes with its own catches and everything like that, but still, it still comes with a lot of good. So, yeah, if you can imagine it, then eventually you can find your way into a solution for it. And I did learn about this in college, where it was called self-fulfilling prophecy. And so it's like, there are studies around this. It's just like has different words. So the idea is that if you believe something, you're going to subconsciously act in ways that make that thing that you believe true, because the subconscious just wants to be proven right. That's just how the human brain works. The human brain also needs 10 positive experiences to outweigh one negative experience. It's just how the human brain works. Is it fair? Is it great? No, but it's just how it is. So the example I always give for self-fulfilling prophecy that my professor gave in class was, if you believe you're going to fail a test, then you may act in subconscious ways that make you actually fail that test. So maybe if you're sitting there thinking, oh, it's worthless, like I'm not going to get it anyway, this material's too hard, I'm going to fail. Maybe you go out and party on Friday night instead of staying home and studying for an hour. And so if you had stayed home and studied for an hour or two, maybe you'd get a C or a D. But instead, because you just threw in the towel, you subconsciously acted in ways to make your projections true. Well, now you did fail because you didn't actually do any studying, or you didn't do anything to, get yourself to that position. So then, the person who went out and partied all weekend instead of taking an hour a day to study over the weekend, yeah, they get the F. And then the person who said, you know what, this is really hard material, but I'm still going to try, then they get the C or the D. Is it an A? No, but it's better than an F, right? So that is like the studied way of like explaining this that I literally learned in college. But there is the metaphysical aspects as well that we're bringing in here with the manifestation piece of it and the embodiment piece of it. Everybody take a drink. Like the video, please, since YouTube's fishy as always. But anyway, so that's my little piece on embodiment and what I've been working on lately. And honestly too, Reiki's been helping a lot, because even though it's like the subliminals take care of like the mental aspect of it, and when you look into the hermetic tablets of Thoth, like the emerald tablets, the hermetic principles, all is mental. That's like one of the things that they say on this in the emerald tablets, and those are just rules of the universe: as within, so without, as above, so below. All is mental. So yeah, you can work on your mind, which is a very important part of it with the subliminals and everything like that. But also the Reiki and the spiritual clearing helps as well, because that's an aspect of it as well that like society doesn't recognize as real even. So it's like there's all this spiritual attack, or all these cords that are attached between you and others, or cords attached to your past version of yourself, like from the example I gave in the beginning, where I was like literally crying, feeling like I didn't deserve to have a nice hotel room because of what I've been through. Like, there were cords attached to my past self, and I had all this guilt. And instead of saying, "You earned it, Nikki, you're doing so great, I'm so happy for you," I said, "Oh, I don't deserve this because at one point I didn't have the means to do this," which doesn't even make sense, right? A lot of the shit our subconscious tells us doesn't actually fucking make sense when you really think about it. So the subliminals have helped me a lot. Reiki has helped me a lot because it takes care of the mind and the soul. And honestly, working out is helping me a lot. And I really, in my grief, I was very sick physically, and I've talked a million times about what a physical toll it took on me. And it's just like, I forgot that that was like a really healthy coping skill for my mental health. Not only for my mental health, but also like for my physical health, right? And like, I have been so athletic my entire life. I started dance at 5 years old, and I never stopped. And I did dance, gymnastics, cheerleading, all super toxic sports. I will say, very toxic sports in my experience. Dance Moms, that's real life. Like, that show, everyone's like, this can't be real, this has to be sensationalized. No. Like, that's what it's actually like when you're a dancer or a gymnast or a cheerleader. And then on top of it, you have all your peers making fun of you about how you're not an actual athlete, even though you're literally lifting people over your head, throwing them in the air and catching them, and they don't break their neck. Like, don't even get me started on people saying it's not a real sport. Or you're doing fucking 7 spins in a row on your toe. Like, or you're doing 1,000,000 flips. Like, there's a reason why, like, gymnastics and shit is, like, not for everyone, because it's really fucking hard, and it takes not only, like, a lot of strength, but it takes a lot of dedication, grace, and, you know, there are artistic aspects to it, too. It's not just, like, a regular sport, right, where it's, like, and I'm not saying there's nothing artistic about football or soccer, but it's, like, you don't have to be, I don't know, it's just different. I think you know what I mean. But anyway, I've been super athletic my whole life. I started dance at 5 and I never stopped. And like I said, I did dance, gymnastics, cheerleading, all my acrobatics and everything like that. I danced competitively. So that's like, I would be at my dance studio for like 5 hours every fucking day. And so I just kind of forgot that like, that is my muscle memory. That is my body's baseline. And then through stopping doing like my workouts and everything like that, it really affected not only my physical health, but my mental health too, because that's what I'm used to. I've done that for like almost 30 years, right? Because I'm 32, so it's like I spent almost my entire life being an athletic and active person. And so it's like, and also too, when my body feels bad, I feel bad, and it's like this chicken or the egg scenario. So it's like, not only is it helping my mental health, and it's giving me those natural endorphins that maybe you'd get from alcohol or from sugar or things that just aren't good for you. And then, so it's giving me like those natural endorphins and giving me that natural mental health help. But then on top of it, it's also making my body feel healthier and happier, which then makes me feel even better mentally and emotionally and spiritually. So mind, body, soul is like what spirit is telling me right now is important to focus on when you're focusing on embodiment. Take care of the mind with subliminals, and make sure that you're going to like a reputable subliminal channel. I really like Medusa subliminals. I found this other channel, I don't know the name off the top of my head because I just found it yesterday, but I'm really liking their subliminals so far. Because, you know, they can put whatever they want in there. So just make sure you're finding a good channel. Always check the comments to see how, like, the subliminal is making people feel. And you know what? Just because a subliminal is great for one person doesn't mean that it's for you. So always, like, trust your gut. Like, if you're listening to the subliminal and it's making you feel worse, trust that. And just no hard feelings, but you don't have to listen to that one, you know? So subliminals for the mind, Reiki and healing for the soul, and then working out for the body. And working out, let's say you're a single mom or at-home mom or whatever, and you like can't get to a gym. It's like there's stuff you can do. You can do fucking jumping jacks. You can when you're playing with your child, you can have like a dance party. Dude, I'd be freaking sweating when I was a nanny, and I'd be having a whole fucking dance party with the boy I nannied. It was a workout having a dance party. So it's like there are ways that you can move, even if you just stretch. Like while your children are watching TV, you just decide to stretch and throw in a couple sit-ups there. Like there are ways that you can make it work, even if you don't have a lot of time, alone time, or you don't have a lot of money, so you can't join a gym or something. Going for a walk is free. Put your kid in a stroller. Take a nice little walk. If it's cold, like where I am, bundle up and maybe find like, or go to a mall. My mom did that with me and my sister all the time in the winter months, because where I live, it gets very cold. And so when she needed a walk, she'd throw us in the stroller, or when we were walking, we'd walk with her and we'd just walk around the mall. You don't have to buy anything. It's just a way to get your laps in. It's free. And, you know, it's warm. So there are ways, and you maybe sometimes you have to get really creative with it, but if you're dedicated to healing your body, you'll find ways, right? So yeah. Okay, so those are my tips for that. We'll get a couple cards, and yeah, also guys, so I did just want to say I've got on my I Swear So Beware shirt. I do still have sweatshirts of this, and I've got on my Nibiru necklace, which I think I still have some of these in my shop. I'm not sure, don't quote me. There might be some still up. I got on Moldavite today too, so I was like, let's let it be a crazy day. And then I've got on my Evil Eye bracelet. I don't have any of these in my shop right now, but these are great. And then I also have on my Solar Flare bracelet. I do have a couple of these in my shop still. These are really good. We're getting a lot of solar flares. These are blessed and baptized in the ocean. They're from Italy, gold plated. And I did them with the intention of protecting during the solar flares. And we've gotten a lot of solar flares in the last couple days. Symptoms of that can be extreme fatigue, body pain, nausea, headaches, like normal ascension symptoms, but they are kind of amplified because of the solar flares. So if you want any of that, that's on my website. Lizzie will put that in the chat. What else? I also just put hair oil up. I can't wait to use it because my scalp is very dry because it's been like 10 degrees here on certain days. So I just restocked my hair oil. I'm going to do that tonight. I cannot wait. It's such a nice like pampering thing to do for your scalp and your hair, and you just come out feeling like so refreshed because it's also like very clearing to the crown chakra, because you know everything I do, it's not just physical. I always add a spiritual aspect to my products as well. So that is up in my shop. The Salem trip is up in my shop. I'm so excited, guys. Salem 2025 is going to be like, Salem 2024 was so fucking epic. Salem 2025, dare I say, is going to be doubly as epic. And because we know we're seasoned from last time, we're all staying in the same hotel, which is really nice. Where I just have new events and stuff for us to do. So many offerings. Like, I am just so freaking excited. I'm so freaking excited. So, yeah, that's up on the website. And, yeah, just gotta plug my stuff, because at the end of the day, this is a business. So, I hope you don't mind. But, and then I am gonna put some of this in my hair, because I've been enjoying doing this every day. My money and magnetism spray, it just gives me such a good feeling. This is also up in my site, so. Spray a little bit for you guys. Can you feel it? Can you feel it, Mr. Krabs? All right, let's get to reading the cards. I'm freaking sweating. You know I'm channeling because I'm talking 100 miles an hour and sweating. Okay. I have the Light Seers Tarot deck. I've just been really enjoying this deck recently. So, let's get some cards. Benevolent guides, guardians, ancestors, angels, star family, higher self, Yeshua, Baal, Raya, Maya, Kornika, and God source. What are your messages, please, around embodiment and manifestation? Also, guys, after the reading, I'm going to put a poll up on my community page. I want to know what you guys want to see from me for Valentine's Day. We're obviously going to do some kind of like Valentine's Day, either beauty or love or sex spell, something like that, a glamour, or maybe all of it. Maybe I can just put all of it in one. That would be really cool. But I am going to ask on the poll, like, what kind of potion you want to see from me the most. Sex and date night, beauty, glamour. People really liked the glamour last year because glamour makes people like, it puts a glamour on you. It makes people kinder to you, more receptive to you. They want to give stuff to you. They want to, you know, make you happy. And then I am going to make a love potion number 9 because it's like a 9 year. So I'm like really excited about that because I've never made a love potion, but it's going to be fun. So after the live, please check the community page to answer the poll so I know what you guys want to see in the shop. There will be soap as well. There'll be and the nice kind. I bought more of this Singapore, which is you can use as shampoo and it just leaves your skin really soft. It's for sensitive skin. So I'm going to be making heart-shaped soaps, and I have sex and date night, spiritual baths, and I'll probably make sugar scrubs. If you want sugar scrubs, please make sure to comment that below. And then also too, if there's any like things I've made in the past, like let's say it's truth serum, or like my I know people really like the starseed potion. Like, let me know what you guys want, because it's like sometimes I make stuff because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make this, and then it's like it doesn't sell because nobody actually wanted that. Like, they wanted something else. So I want to get better at like asking what you guys actually want, so I'm not just like making stuff that nobody wants, because that's not good for either of us, because then I'm not making the products. You're sitting there waiting for the products and then they're not coming out, and then for me they're just sitting on my fucking shelf, and my house is small, I tell you. So all right, Spirit, what do you want to tell us about embodiment? I just felt that in my teeth. Woo. All right. Okay. So the first card that we have here is the 9 of Wands. So I feel like what Spirit is saying about this, first of all, it's a twofold message. So when you're doing your embodiment, you have to be able to break down these walls that you have with yourself, or like I was talking about, that certain lack mentality that is holding you back from what it is that you're trying to achieve. So that's part of it. But the other part of it that I feel like Spirit is saying is that, one, don't dim your light to fit in with other people. If people want you to dim your light just so that, you know, they feel more comfortable around you. I'm going to give this example. A lot of you know I do pole fitness, and I kind of stopped doing it for a while because my family, especially my sister, if I'm being really honest, shamed me a lot for having that as a hobby. And nothing against, you know, people who are like strippers or dancers. I never did that though. Like, I never did that. I've been to a club once or twice in college, and I went to just like enjoy because I was a college kid, but I've never danced in a club. I've never had an OnlyFans. I've never done anything like that. It was purely sport and a hobby for me. And when you're dancing on the pole, you have to be half naked so that you can stick to the pole, because if not, you just slide right off because it's a slippery metal pole. So you need skin to skin to be able to actually do these tricks. And if I'm going to be freaking half naked, I might as well be wearing something cute while I'm doing it. But my family, like, I'm hearing Milan when they're like, you've brought shame on our family. Like, that's how they acted. Like, just because I had this hobby and I was like posting it online, and it was like inspiring other women. Like, yeah, of course there's guys who are going to comment and stuff like that, but like a lot of the guys were like nice and normal and like, wow, good for you, you're so strong. And the women were it was mostly for women and other women to be inspired. And as someone who has a lot of sexual trauma, like, it was really helpful for me to be able to take my power back sexually and also channel my sexual energy in like a healthy direction. So it became like this big thing in my family, and my dad would get really angry and he'd yell at me. And it was so funny. So on TikTok, everyone would be like, yeah, you can tell like her dad hates her dad doesn't love her. I got off TikTok a long time ago because the comments are just so rude. It's like, my son Jalen is my king, and I'm like, dude, I have no kids. Like, people will just say the most unhinged, stupid shit on TikTok. And now people are TikToking our YouTube, like how people say, don't California my Texas. Don't TikTok my YouTube, because there's all these like insane comments now of these weak minded keyboard warriors who will say anything through a screen but would never say that shit to my face. I know it for a fact. Anyway, so it was like my dad would get so mad and he'd yell at me and he didn't want me to, and he was like, no, because like his little girl and this and that. So it's like, it was the opposite of what people thought. But anyway, it was a big thing and it was stressful, and I would cry and they would yell at me and they'd get upset with me and I'd cry, and then I'm like, you know what, screw this hobby. I don't feel like getting in arguments with my family anymore. But then what I realized was they weren't giving me any alternative coping skills or any alternative support. They just wanted to take one of my coping skills and then not replace it in return with either their own support or a different coping skill that like they were suggesting. So then I had to realize, like, that's dumb. I'm not going to just give up my coping skill because other people don't like it when those other people are not providing me with the hole, like they're not filling the hole that coping skill was using. And just because they have a certain perception around pole fitness doesn't mean it's real, because that's not what it is to me, right? And so I feel like Spirit's just saying that about like don't dim to fit in. Don't take away your own, don't give up your own needs or like what it is that makes you feel good. If you're not hurting anybody, if you're having a good time, then what's the problem? Right? So don't dim to fit in. And then also too, you're not meant for everyone. When you're working on this embodiment and stuff, it's best to stay away from people who are going to tear you down for wanting to change. It's best to stay away from the people who say, oh, you've changed, because they don't like the boundaries that you've set with them, right? You're not meant for everyone, okay? And you're not supposed to be giving your energy away freely to people who are just judging you for that energy that they're coveting so deeply. I'm going to say that again. If they're coveting your energy so deeply, but then judging you for what got you to the point of having that frequency, then screw them. They don't deserve to be in your energy. And I just feel like Spirit's reiterating, if you really want a quantum leap, if you really want to find that embodiment and that manifestation of what it is that you're trying to create, not only do you need to completely release, who you are now, and like I said, Rome wasn't built in a day. It's a process. So it's not like you're going to wake up tomorrow and be a new person. But at the same time, you have to be okay with letting go of those bad coping skills. So like how I was saying, I was just eating a bunch of crap, even though like some of it I was allergic to. Like I was eating gluten, even though I'm not supposed to eat gluten. And on vacation and stuff, yeah, fine. Like if there's nothing else to eat, I can eat gluten. But I was just eating it. And it's not good for me, and then I was getting sick. So it's like, I need to let that go if I want a quantum leap to a higher timeline where I'm actually healthy. So, I guess the clouds just rolled in. It just got really cloudy here. But anyway, you're not meant for everyone, and you need to be okay with letting go of certain things that are not in alignment with the version of you that you want to be. And you also need to be grateful for the version of you that's trying so hard right now. Or in the past. I have so much empathy for the girl I used to be and how much I struggled to get myself to where I am today. And I lost that empathy for myself a lot over the last year. I've been really critical and hard on myself. And now I'm trying to really find the empathy for who I've been all through 2024, because it was a very difficult year. And so releasing that part of yourself, but doing it with empathy and love, and knowing that as we were talking about with time, Lasagna, there's part of your soul that will always be in that embodiment. But as you move forward, you're stepping into this higher embodiment and this higher version of yourself. So yeah, be very selective about, and I don't suggest telling too many people what it is that you want to manifest unless you know they really support you. Because it's like, when you think about it, it's like we have all had those friends or those family members that it's like you tell them something that you achieved, and then they get jealous and they try to tear you down instead of being happy for your success. And so it's like, those are not the kind of people that you want to share your manifestations with, because they're going to beg, borrow, and steal to make it so that you don't achieve what it is that you're trying to achieve. And they're going to try to get in your head. So then it's like all the subconscious work that we talked about earlier that you're doing is going to be for naught, because you're working on the inner voices, but now you have these naysayers on the outside, and it's just a nightmare. So I would say keep your cards close to your chest. I'm just going to open my window shades. Hi, girls. The girls are sleeping next to me. Okay. Yeah, there's just like a big cloud going over my house right now. All right. Then we have the Seven of Cups and the King of Swords. I feel like this is reiterating what I was saying. With the Seven of Cups, you need to be selective about who and what is in your life. So if you want to quit smoking, maybe you shouldn't be hanging out with your friend who smokes a pack a day, because that's going to be really triggering, right? If you don't want to drink alcohol anymore, maybe don't go to the bar. You know what I'm saying? And there's, like I said, people who get mad because you're outgrowing them. And if you feel like you have people in your life, whether it's your friends or your family, you don't have to fully get rid of them, but you also don't have to deal with their bullshit. And if people don't like you anymore after you've set a boundary with them, or they're disrespectful to you after you've asked for respect in certain ways, they don't belong in your life. Right? And that doesn't mean forever, but it means right now, when they're not willing to respect you and your needs and your boundaries, then they don't belong around you. And that's just that. So Spirit is saying that you need to be very selective and know that you have a lot of options. So they're showing me it's not just one like timeline that gets you where you want to go. There are many timelines that can get you to the quantum leap or the manifestation that it is that you're trying to achieve. And you can't like, so if you're trying to manifest something, it's better to not be like, okay, so I'm going to get this job at 7:30 on a Monday, and then I'm going to get this car at this time in this like, go with the flow. There are many timelines that can get you to the same place that you want to be. So go with the flow. And they're showing me like how water will always take the path of least resistance. And it's like, you want to flow like water. I'm hearing that song, I think it's Water by Beautiful Chorus. It's amazing. It's a really high vibrational song. But it's all about like, be like water, my friend, go around it or through it. Water can break or it can crash. I can't remember the lyrics exactly. Look it up. But anyway, go with the flow and don't try to tell Spirit or God how to make this happen. Just trust and flow as the opportunities present themselves. Now, with the King of Swords here, we do have an owl. So we have an owl, a bat, and a crow. So one crow is usually, and a dragonfly. One crow is usually a warning. So when you see a crow, here's what I do when I see crows, because different numbers of crows mean different things. So it's like, one crow is a warning. It's like an omen. 2 crows is celebration. 3 crows, I think, is the birth of a boy. 4 crows is the birth of a girl, and so on and so forth. You can look this up. So whenever I see a crow, I put on my invisibility cloak so nothing tricky or like a trickster spirit or anything doesn't try to talk to me. And then I ask it, what's your message for me? Because just because there's an omen doesn't mean it's like something bad. Like the crow might just be like, drive safe. People are driving crazy today. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be like, your house will burn down in 7 days and then you'll die. Like, it doesn't have to be like that. But so there's a message for you from the crows. And then with the bats and the owl, they both move at night. And I feel like this is just saying like, how I was saying, like, moving through the shadow, but also like moving selectively and not sharing your manifestations with everyone, because they're not for everyone to hear, because not everybody has your best interest in mind. With the dragonfly, that's about releasing illusions. So this is around releasing illusions, not only with yourself and like the negative self-talk and stuff that isn't actually real, that the subconscious is trying to impress upon you as real when it's not. But it's about releasing illusions around who actually supports you and who doesn't, who's in your life for the right reasons and who's in your life for the wrong reasons. And with the bat as well, this makes me think, they're showing me sonar, and how like if you like yell while a bat is flying over you, it like fucks up their sonar, and then they could like fall down, or they're like can't fly well. And so I feel like they're saying that it's like these naysayers or these people that want to leech off of you, or these people that don't believe in you, it just throws off your sonar. So you're on like a really good path, and then here comes in your fucking bitchy aunt that's like, you'll never succeed, and then you're like, ah, and it's like throwing off your path and your sonar. So it's like clearing your path by taking no bullshit here with the King of Swords. It's being logical. It's cutting out the people and situations and whatever that is hurting you or keeping you from reaching what it is that you want to reach. And it's saying, I'm sorry, fuck your feelings. And not in a rude way, but in a way that's like, your feelings don't matter more than my needs. I'm going to say that again. Your feelings don't matter more than my needs. And a lot of us who have ended up in this rut where we have a very downtrodden subconscious, a lot of us have experienced, you know, people either in childhood or in our early years, like, not letting our needs be valid. I think a lot of us have felt that way, or a lot of us are people pleasers, so we'd rather, you know, keep the peace and let other people be happy than put our own needs first. And then if you're a parent, it just gets even more complicated from there, because you actually have to keep a child alive. So basically, obviously do it within reason, and like if your kid's like crying and hungry, don't be like, my needs first. Like, not saying anyone would do that, but Dutchess said, just kidding. And then you come yell at me and sue me. Well, you said for entertainment purposes only. But you know what I mean, within reason. Within reason. Put yourself first. Within reason. Be logical. Don't, like I said, put other people's feelings above your own needs, wants, dreams, or goals. It's not right, right? And the people who really support you will be along the ride with you. And the ones who don't will show themselves out, or you'll remove them yourself. And I find it interesting because it's like the sword is behind him there, but also he's got a dagger in his hand. And I feel like you need to be sharp. You don't just need to be sharp-witted right now while you're doing this manifestation and subconscious work, but you also need to be like sharp. Like, don't pussyfoot around. Say what you mean. Like, if someone's treating you like crap, all right, bye. Cool. No second chances, or no third chances, fourth chances, fifth chances, whatever. You need to be sharp right now. If you want what you want to happen, if you want to manifest what you want, you got to be sharp. Please remember to like the video, guys, so more people get notified. That's just how the algorithm works. I don't make the rules. Just how it is. Okay. And then we have the Star and the King of Wands. So I just heard the King of the Jungle, and then I just heard that song, do 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 do, like the lion sleeps tonight. So I actually feel like the Lionsgate portal, you might start to have like big physical experiences of your manifestations, like coming into the physical realm. If not, the Lionsgate portal is obviously a big manifestation portal, and so setting your foundations during the Lionsgate portal is going to be very powerful this year. But I also think you're going to see like physical, real-time embodiment, right? The word of the day, embodiment, around what it is that you're trying to create by the Lionsgate portal. I heard the King of the Jungle as well. And so maybe, let's say like what you're trying to manifest is like business related, or you just have to have stronger, healthier boundaries. Notice we have two kings here. This is like not a page, it's not a knight, it's a masculine energy coming through in a king frequency. So it's like you have to not only know your power and respect your power and not fear your power, but you have to find that strong, sexy, divine masculine. That's what Brooke from Arcanum LA calls it. She's like, my sexy masculine. So it's not like the toxic masculine that we hear everything. Like, I feel like so many people just talk about like the bad parts of everything on the internet, especially, but like someone posted a post of like their baby crying next to them, and I don't know why on God's green earth, if your like newborn is crying next to you in bed, you decide that it's appropriate to take a camera, stick it in your face, and just like show like your crying baby and your disdain and whatever. Like, I just think that's really strange behavior. But anyway, it was like the part of motherhood no one talks about. And then the comments were all like, no, actually, this is like the only part that people talk about. Like, this is why people are scared to have kids, because like this is actually all people talk about. Like, and I'm sure people talk about the good stuff, but the majority, I feel, of what you see online in pretty much any sector of life is like the negativity, right? Or like the bad side, because the internet just loves to fight, and the internet loves to be angry, and the internet loves to just like be rude and mean and like just show you the worst parts of everything. We're getting a random downpour right now. What the hell? We're getting, actually, it's like a ice and snow. That's crazy. This was not in the forecast. That's so weird. While I'm reading, that's really weird. No wonder that big cloud came in. That's crazy. What the heck? Okay, sorry, getting distracted. What was I saying? oh, finding the sexy masculine instead of like, because like masculinity has kind of a bad rep these days because of the toxic masculinity side of things. But finding that sexy masculine where it's like, what would you want from, let's say you didn't have a good relationship with your dad. What would you have wanted? Like, if you're in this situation and you need advice, like what do you wish your dad would have said to you in those times? Or if you don't have a partner, a healthy partner, like what would you wish that your partner would do for you? Like if you're having a hard day, would you like them to cook dinner? If you're having a hard day, would you like them to give you a massage? Like what would you want from your sexy masculine? And then what you can make, like what you can make come true for yourself. So like maybe you don't have a partner and you really want a massage and you can't afford a massage today, but you spend the next couple weeks saving up for it, and then you get to gift that to yourself in that sexy masculine energy of saying, you deserve this. I'm happy like that I can give this to you. I'm proud of you. You deserve this, right? So it's like right now you're being asked to find that sexy masculine in your embodiment. And if you don't have a partner, this is bringing the right partner to you because you're embodying the parts of a partner that you would want within yourself. So then it brings someone to you because not only do you not need someone else because you're embodying it yourself, but you're already in that frequency. So anything that is not of that frequency can't touch you because it can't match your frequency, right? So you're not going to get the fuck boys or fuck girls or whatever because it's like you're not in that frequency. They can't even touch you. You're vibrating far above that. So yeah, finding that sexy masculine energy, the king of the jungle here, and also to finding that passion. So when you're trying to manifest this, cultivating that passion, but in that masculine frequency. So in that grounded energy where you're taking action, where you're solidifying a strong foundation. Yeah. Okay, and then the star, right? This is like what I was talking about, as above, so below. Here's your manifestation. You've literally got your hands on it. Now you're just pulling it into the ether. And they just said this card, the thing to remember with this card is belief. Like, what do you believe? This is why we're reprogramming our subconscious. Because if your subconscious believes that you'll never achieve the goals that you're trying to achieve, then yeah, no, you're never going to achieve the goals that you're trying to achieve. But if you have a belief and a faith, not only in yourself, but in spirituality or in God as you perceive God, if you have a belief, like when I first started my YouTube, I had 1 subscriber and it was me. It was like me on another account, and I would get like 30 or 40 views and I'd be like, wow. And then I'd tell my viewers, I'd say thank you, because someday I'm gonna have a lot of subscribers. And I just knew that in my heart. I had a belief in myself. I had a belief that I could build a business and that, you know, I could get all these subscribers and whatever. And so it's like I kind of lost that because I got really like just pessimistic about the constantly changing algorithm and then all the strongholds that like this site will put against you and all the censorship and all that shit. Like I lost a lot of my optimism and a lot of my belief in myself. And so I've been having to recultivate that from within. And so Spirit's just reminding you that it is about what you believe. Do you believe that you can achieve these things? Do you believe that they are already yours, that you already have them on a string? It's just about, like I said, Rome wasn't built in a day. It's about laying the physical foundations that it takes to bring this manifestation or embodiment into your life. Are you doing small steps every single day to get you there? And it doesn't have to be anything big. Like this morning, I really want to learn Italian. I don't know any other languages. I took Spanish in school, so I have some understanding of that. But like, I'm just an English-speaking American girl, you know? And I want to learn Italian because 1, I want to go to Italy. 2, I am Italian and I want to, you know, connect with my ancestry in that way. 3, I want to use it in my spell work, so I just know it's going to amplify my spell work to the next level if I can work with my Italian ancestors while speaking Italian. Like, it's just going to take me to the next level. So, but that seems, if I'm being honest, that seems really freaking hard. That seems really daunting. To like think about learning a whole nother language at 32 years old when I don't really know, like I know a little Spanish here and there, like I was saying, but like it just seems scary and hard and like a really big task. But this morning, what I did, the first thing I did when I woke up, while I was still laying in bed like a bum, I just was not being a bum and I was taking my fucking online Italian class and I learned some words and can I remember them off of top of my head right now? No. I remember arrivederci because I already knew that one. But I learned how to say, how are you? And it's so crazy too, because like the guy teaching the class is like, this might seem easy. And I'm like sweating like, what do you mean easy? Like, this is kind of hard. And my pronunciation is great. I got 100% on all my pronunciation. But it's like that memory, like remembering, like, especially too because like I do have some Spanish. So it's like, I know it's like, you say, ¿cómo estás? Like, ¿y tú? Or whatever. And then you say it's a little different in Italian, obviously, because it's another language. But it's similar but different. So like, anyway, I spent my morning when my subconscious was ripe doing my little Italian lesson. And I don't feel like I got very far, but it's my only first time ever. It's my first lesson. And so it's like how I was talking about in the beginning, just being kinder to myself and giving myself credit. Like, damn, I could have sat there and scrolled, but I didn't. I took a fucking Italian class. So giving yourself credit, and also like I was saying, it's like changing your subconscious so that it doesn't feel like this goal is so far away. Because like I was saying, like as much as I want to learn Italian, there's this like pit of dread in my stomach. But that goes back to what I was saying too about the subconscious, and how like when you have severe trauma, everything feels like life or death, or like mountains are made out of molehills, because that's just the way your brain is wired. So like rewiring my brain that like it's not a big deal if I'm not that good at Italian, because I can just keep taking the classes until I get good. Like it's not like I need Italian to save my life right now. It's a choice, it's a hobby, it's something I want to do. So for my own joy, it's not like, do this, learn Italian so that you, like, if not, this bomb's going off, you know what I mean? So breaking down your beliefs, creating new beliefs, or with a belief in yourself, and understanding that your manifestation's here, you've already got it on a string, all you got to do is pull it down and take the proper physical steps to get it into the physical reality. So using that as an example, somewhere down the timeline, I speak Italian fluently. It's reminding me of that movie Inglourious Bastards, when he's got like a southern accent, but they're pretending to be Italian, and he's like, arrivederci, like Brad Pitt. Like, that's me right now. So right now I'm Brad Pitt in Inglourious Bastards. But somewhere down some timeline in the quantum physics field, I am fucking speaking Italian fluently, and I'm a badass. And I already got it. So all you got to do is find that timeline, grab it, put it on a string, and start reeling it down. And not get discouraged when it doesn't go from here to here immediately. They're showing me with fishing how it's like you got to set the hook when you fish. You cast out. So it's like you're casting out to the timeline that you want, and then you wait. And then when you get a bite, you have to set the hook. Because if you don't set the hook, aka taking the steps to like reprogram your mind, body, soul, and taking the physical steps to make it happen in your reality, set that hook so that it gets in the fish, and then you start reeling it in. And you want to reel it in fast, but not too fast, because then you'll lose the fish, right? So that's what that's about. All right, let me get, I've been really enjoying using this deck lately. Thanks for the likes, guys. Don't forget to like. It's getting a lot more people here. Take a drink. Okay. Happy Lunar New Year. Thanks for the like. I've been using this deck, the Gods and Titans. I have had the Goddess deck probably since 2019, but I just bought this one and I'm really enjoying it. Advice, please, for embodiment and manifestation. Maui discovery. So Moana might be a synchronicity for you. That movie always makes me cry. So, wow, okay, I'm getting two messages. So they kept Moana away from the water, right? I've been staring at the edge of the water. Oh, chills. They kept her away from the water her entire life because they had a fear, but going in the water and finding the heart of Te Fiti was part of her destiny. So do with that message what you will. The other aspect is I cry every time when she's walking up to Te Ka, which is just Te Fiti, who's been heartbroken, who's had the heart stolen from inside her, and she's walking up to her and she's like, I've crossed the horizon to find... Oh, covered in chills. I need to watch that movie. Oh, but it's just going to make me cry. All right. I've crossed the horizon to find you. I know your name. They've stolen the heart from inside you, but this does not define you. This does not define you. This is not who you are. Guys, chills. I know who you are. And then she puts the heart back into Fiti, and then she changes from the monster Te Ka back into the beautiful, illustrious Mother Gaia, Te Fiti, earth goddess, right? And they're showing me this connection too with like the collective pain and suffering of you know, like the fires and how they just keep setting fires on the planet, and Mother Gaia just burning, and it sucks. And they're saying that like it's not going to be like this forever. Like we are going to get to the other side of this, and we are going to be able to take down the people who are creating these crimes against humanity that are causing these situations. So, but like I was talking about with the subconscious work, they've stolen the heart from inside you, but this does not define you. This is not who you are. I know who you are. And you have to discover that again, rediscovering who you are and who you're meant to be, even when the naysayers tell you not to do what it is that you're destined to do. That is so deep. Hypnos, sleep. So just remembering too that the people that might be trying to stifle you from reaching your manifestations are asleep, and they're under this mass hypnosis. And when they're ready, they'll wake up, but it's not your job to wake them up, and it's also not your job to coddle their delusions. So they might think you're delusional because you have these big dreams, but in reality, the delusion is believing that it's not possible, because anything's possible. Thor, action. Remember, like I was saying, that sexy masculine energy, the ability to take action and actually lay the physical foundations, because you can sit here and you can do the inner work all you want. You still need to do the physical work and take action towards what it is that you're trying to create. And then Ganesha, obstacles. So, like I said in the beginning, realizing that any obstacle that may come in your path in your forward movement towards what it is that you're trying to create, realizing that subconsciously something brought that obstacle into your reality, so subconsciously you can remove it just by changing your thought process, which I talked extensively about in the beginning. So just reiterating that. Let's get one more, and then Shiva, the destroyer of obstacles, Shiva and Ganesha. Maybe you want to work with the Hindu gods and goddesses, but also not being afraid to destroy what is no longer serving you and destroy the version of yourself. And it's not really, like I said, you're not destroying that version of yourself, but you are destroying the cords that attach you to it. So that part of you will always exist, and you can always send empathy and gratitude to the part of you that is getting you where you want to be. However, it is important to cut the cords with what's no longer serving you from who you used to be, technically who you are in this moment, and where you want to go. All right, the Audacious Angels deck. First things first, I'm the realist. Just kidding. First things first, taking baby steps. That's what this is all about. First things first, taking one step at a time in baby steps. Archangel, direct dial Archangel. This is about spirit literally showing up to support you. Also, you could be having networking opportunities to get what it is that you want to get. Also, Archangel Gabriel could be trying to send you a message right now about what it is that you're trying to achieve. Wow, the archangels and the Hindu gods and goddesses are around you. Archangel Michael. These are two of the archangels in this deck. So we also have Archangel Michael, Michael, Prince Charming of protection, and this is going back to what I was saying about the sexy masculine energy, not letting those angry voices of the toxic masculinity that you've experienced throughout your life be ruling over your mind, finding the sexy masculine and moving forward with that. Clearing out distortions, House of Mirrors, clearing out illusions and distortions, which we saw with the dragonfly earlier. Wild roses, blooming where you're planted, because, you know, even plants can come up through like the cracks in the sidewalk. So blooming where you're planted and making the most of what you have now to get where you want to go eventually. And what's cooking, trusting that what's cooking for the future is actually what it is that you want to achieve. And then we're going to use this deck. Get one last card, and then we'll do the Reiki, and I'll get some crystals. Thanks for the likes, guys. All right, let's see. What card do we have for today, Spirit? What card do we have for today? What do we need to know in this Lunar New Year? Quiet. Oh, Lord. We have indulging in the impossible pleasure. Love it. Just going to cover that up a little bit. Indulging in the impossible pleasure. Because like I was saying, anything's possible. So anyone who tells you, yeah, thanks for the likes, guys. Everyone's liking the video. Anyone who tells you it's not possible, they're actually under a delusion, because anything is possible. And I mean anything. Okay, number 28. I think it's Lilith in Sagittarius. It'll say that, though, and I can tell you. Number 28. I'm not going to hold the card up because it's scandalous, and I don't want YouTube to get mad at me. Okay, Lilith in Sagittarius, the second chakra. Wandering through life, I was easily led astray, falling into ideological and erotic seduction. My desires had to be immediately satisfied, and the truth of my conclusions were never in my doubts. We are attracted to the cold stone, to the barren land. Right? Lack mentality. Damn, this is really on point. We are attracted to the cold stone, the barren land, the dark sky, the murky water. We are attracted because they fill the emptiness of our mind. Damn, this is really on point. Sometimes they fill our soul, as if we were made of such a darkness. We pursue love that can't love back. We pursue pleasure like a drug. We kneel and crawl while thinking we are masters of this world. We transgress moral boundaries, not because we want to find burning passion, but because we want to escape from it. We sate the rage, anger of our flesh with poisoned food. What? This is like everything I just said. And we become our own victims and executioners. In short, we may become our own demons when we forget the connection with our deeper and simpler feelings. That was crazy, dude. And it took forever for that card to fall out. That was really cool. All right. Get in a comfortable position. I'm going to clean up these cards. Get ready for Reiki. Get in a comfortable position. I'm going to grab some crystals from next to me after I get these cards cleaned up. Ah! We have the other Archangel in this deck. Archangel Uriel. Good vibrations Archangel. The Archangels are definitely supporting us through this. And they're saying ask for help. Call on them. Okay. Do 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 do. Actually, I'll just put the camera on the babies while I do this. For your viewing pleasure, little cat babies. Hi. Hi. Do 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 do. My ear is ringing. I sing them this song. I say, Sunday and ice cream, Sunday and ice cream, Sunday and ice cream. I love you so much. We got the other king on the bottom of the deck. That's the third king that's come out. Okay. It's the SpongeBob song when he has the when he's trying to get the jellyfish back to Jellyfish Field, but I just changed it to the Sunday and ice cream song. Sunday and ice cream. Sunday and ice cream, Sunday and ice cream, I love you so much. Okay. All right, let's move this back. Oh, now they're like sitting up and like doing stuff. Guys. Okay. Get my singing bowl situated. So, the crystals that we have for our Reiki today. So basically we're going to do some Reiki. All you have to do is say to yourself or in the chat or in the comments, if you say it in the comments, it will help my algorithm. Say, I receive, or I am open to receive, or I accept this healing. That way I have permission to work on you, because you will not be able to receive the Reiki without giving it permission to basically permeate your frequency, your energy field. Everybody take a drink. So yeah, you just have to accept the Reiki, either inwardly or outwardly. And, okay, the crystals we have today, I have a rose quartz for love. I have a labradorite. This always reminds me of dragon energy, because it reminds me of, I wish with all my heart to fly with dragons in the land of heart. Then I have this clear quartz chunk. Honestly, it might be glass, but either way, for clarity. And then I have this, I don't remember what this kind of shell is called. You can put it in the chat if you do know what it's called. But I put this little note in it because I have so much water in my chart, and I only have like Virgo in one spot, I think. And an astrologer a long time ago told me that I needed to have more Virgo energy because I don't have enough of it. So it's got this little piece of paper that says Virgo in it. So maybe that's a synchronicity for you, or maybe you need some more Virgo energy too. Also, whoa, some evil eye in here, huh? Probably from the trolls, because a piece of my silver evil eye bracelet broke off. You can't get me, buddy boy. You can't get me. You're just gonna, it's just gonna go right back to you. So, because I always got the tricks up my sleeve. I'm putting this in the singing bowl. Okay, so let's all take a deep breath, hold it, and release. And we're going to begin the Reiki now. Like I said, all you have to do is accept it either inwardly or outwardly. Reiki for embodiment and manifesting the life of your dreams and what it is that you're trying to achieve. Remembering to breathe. If you would like to lay down and close your eyes, that might be nice. If you don't want to, you don't have to. We're using a sacral chakra singing bowl and a solar plexus singing bowl. starting in your crown and go all the way down your body. I'm going to sweep your chakras and your auric field. thank you to my guides, guardians, ancestors, angels, star family, higher self, Yeshua, Baal, Raya, Maya, Kornika, and God Source for allowing me to be the channel through which this spiritual frequency and energy and psychic gifts flow. I say thank you for everything done here in this live today, and I ask please that we all go forward in the highest frequency on our highest timeline in perfect alignment. I pray all of this with the purest of hearts and the best of intentions. Amon Ra, Ashe Namaste, by the power of three, so mote it be, always works, always a blessing. I feel really good, guys. I'm really enjoying this Reiki. Feel really good. All right, let's check the chat. Thanks for the hearts and stuff. Hey, Leah! Thank you for your time and help. I appreciate it. You're welcome, James. Thanks for being here. Thank you. You're welcome, Yami. Hey, Robin! Thank you. You're welcome. Hey, Cassie. Thank you. So grateful for you, Nikki. Grateful for you. Beautiful, says Lizzie. Thank you. Oh, Indigo. I gotta make you add as a moderator. Kim. Okay. Alright, you should be a moderator now, Indigo. Everyone was suggesting that, whoops, last night on the Patreon, so. Oh, thank you so much for the super chat. That's so sweet. Thank you so much. Underdog Tarot, thank you for the Reiki. My cat Ishtar was even enjoying it. I have a way with cat Reiki for some reason. Kornika loved the singing bowl. Sunday likes the singing bowl. Ice Cream is scared of it. But then Sunday is scared of when I dance with the speaker. But then Ice Cream just sits there and looks at me with stars in her eyes while I dance. Thanks for the likes, guys. I'm on the remix. I've got a music box going. Nice. My cat was sleeping during your Reiki too. Awesome. I love your tattoos. Thank you, Salma. Why does everyone keep asking if I have a hot tub? Guys, maybe I have a hot tub in the future. In my manifestation? In the live about manifestation? Let's manifest me a hot tub so that when these weirdos ask, I can say, well, yes. Or maybe, I know it was like creepy when they did it on Nickelodeon. Like in hindsight, it's all creepy and weird. But I remember Amanda Bynes used to do her talk show from the hot tub. So maybe I can do that in a not creepy way. Do my lives from my hot tub. Ooh, I feel special and snazzy. Good. You're welcome. Girl, I need your help. If you want to book something with me, if you need help, like if you need advice or something, I've got my website up and you can get a reading or something or a healing or whatever you want. Hot Tub Time Machine. I know, that's what I was thinking. Especially too, because I love Girls Next Level. Like, I love that Patreon. And they do their Hot Tub Time Machine. And they take us back to, like, the early 2000s. It's really fun. I have adult ADHD and autism, but I'm not handicapped. And I'm 20, a Taurus, and I'm from West Virginia, and I have OCD. Well, I'm glad you have all those diagnoses so that you can get the help that you need. And I hope that, you know, you're feeling good despite all that stuff going on. You're pretty. Thank you. What is... Oh, is AUDHD, is that like autistic ADHD? I don't know all the terms. Let's see. I know, it was just a creepy comment. I'm ignoring that comment. I'm gonna pretend like that never happened. I was extremely sick multiple times last year. Wait, we've been getting hit with upgrades in the head and the throat. It's supposed to help us ascend. We can see, hear, and experience non-physical better with the upgrade. Completely agree with the solar flares as well. I was extremely sick multiple times last year because of that same Same. For other reasons too, but also because of that. You always make me sweepy, Nikki. I have a tendency of doing that, especially like when we're doing really big work on the aura like this. Like every time I do Reiki on my parents, they fall asleep. My dad is like snoring every time I do a healing on him. It's very common for me to put people to sleep. Don't worry about it. It is very common. Such a beautiful healing. I had so many visions too, and an awesome reading. It resonated a lot. Yay, Leah. And I'm praying for your Salem manifestations. Leah made the cutest picture. She photoshopped herself into the picture of us from Salem. So feel free to do that if you want to manifest a Salem trip. My readings cost money. Yes, it is like I said earlier, it is my business. It is a business first, so they do cost money. It's my livelihood. It's my career. Sound baths are done laying down usually. Yeah, that's why people are like, especially if they're tired, man. People are tired. People work themselves to the bone. People are emotionally tired. They're physically tired. So, like, if you're tired and you're getting this amazing healing, you're gonna fucking knock out. Yes, autism and ADHD and AUDHD are the same. Okay, so it's like a combination of the two. Great. Thanks for sharing that. Can I ask what you think are the signs of a witch? What do you mean by that? Because if this were ancient times, like we learned in Salem, they'd be looking for a third nipple on your body. And they'd find something like a mole and be like, that's where the devil suckles on your witch body. So I guess it depends what time period you're asking about, or like what exactly you mean. But the crazy thing, guys, is when we were in Salem, I have photos of it. It's crazy. And I took a video. I was like, my third nipple. Because when we were there, this red, like, circle just, like, showed up on my chest. And I was like, oh, my God. It's my third nipple. Because we're in Salem and I'm a witch. My inner child is ready to play, dude. I cannot stop fidgeting. Woo! Have a dance party, like I was saying in the beginning. I just pulled a card about coincidences and synchronicities. The number 33, a master number. And then you talk about me and the Salem trip. Amazing. Oh, are you going too, Robin? Ooh. Hell yeah. I know, right? It is pretty funny. Everyone's putting LMAO with the laughing faces. So true. It's being demonized, sadly. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a tale as old as time. Witches have always been the scapegoat, and even if women, like, well, I mean, of course there were some men in there, but it was mostly women and children, women and, like, female children, and so, I feel like it's just, like, a scapegoat for when men in power, when tyrannical men in power felt that women were gaining too much leeway or control over the thought processes of the community. And so literally you could just be an herbalist that was like making teas for people and they'd be like, witch! Like you could do literally barely anything and they'd just use it as a scapegoat. Rosa, my hairdresser, has a deck, and the card I pulled was 33. There's a synchronicity. I am pulling my wish into the ether. Amazing. Hoping to fly my kite and pull back my dream. Hell yeah. Wait, what did you say before that? Or a widow with land and money. Yo, literally. That's what happened to Bridget Bishop. She owned her own property. She would have gambling sessions with the men. She would drink and burp and swear and act like a man. So the church accused her of being a witch. And when they accused her of being a witch, she put on a bright red dress, which wasn't allowed, with black lace trim, which also wasn't allowed. And she ran up and down the streets screaming profanity and saying, fuck the church, fuck the church. And then she became the first woman hung. So we're hanging out with her. We're going to her old house. Last time, oh guys, I'm really excited too. For those of you who came last year, like in the, I'm really excited because in the price of your ticket, I put it so that I want to see if we can get the same waitress. Her name was Dee Dee, and she was like amazing. I think her name was Dee Dee, right? Or was it Dee? I can't really remember. I think it was Dee Dee. But she was like so cute. She had the best Massachusetts accent. She literally thought Chrissy was Simone Biles. And so she was like literally thinking, she's like, but I thought she was like in Paris at the Olympics. Like, and so she was like so enamored with us. But in the price of the ticket, I put it so that we can bless her with like a big ass tip. And if she doesn't, I think she'll still be working there, and when I call to make our reservation, I'm gonna request her. But if she's not working there, we're gonna bless our waitress with like a huge fucking tip, because we're just gonna be abundant and we're gonna be like that. And she was so nice to us, and she let us go upstairs, like even though you're like we weren't supposed to be going upstairs. They were showing us footage of someone getting a drink chucked at their head. Like they got it on camera of a ghost throwing a glass at this guy's head. And after we saw the guy, I was like, hey, I recognize you. You're from the glass throwing video. And he was like, yeah, no, that was really scary. And I was like, well, what'd you do to piss off the ghost? Why'd she throw a glass? What'd you do? Like, he was like, oh. And then we randomly found a Masonic temple. And then after that, we randomly found an 80s dance party. So that was a wild night. But anyway, we're going to bless Dee Dee with a big ass tip, and we're going to go to Bridget Bishop's old house. We're going to eat the best meal, because that was like the best meal of the whole trip. It was so fucking good. And then we're going to do an offering. Like, that's also included in the ticket. We're going to do a big ass offering for Bridget Bishop. We're going to bring apples. I cannot wait. I want to go, but maybe I'm too old. What? Why? You don't have, if you're, the only requirements, it's up on my website, but I'm requiring that this is a women's retreat, a biological women's retreat, because that's where I'm at in my life. That's what I can handle. I can't handle bringing men into this situation yet, especially because I just need, I haven't had the best luck with finding men who are like, can like emotionally regulate themselves. And I really don't want to bring that energy, because that was, and I actually need to fix that and put that in the description once I get off this live, that there's a need to be able to emotionally regulate yourself even under pressure or when triggered, because we all had that in common, and that's what made for a very smooth. And I also don't want competition. Like, don't bring your petty, like bitchy energy. That we had such a nice time last time without any of that, and it's like I can't accept that into this sacred space. But being old has nothing to do with it. If you can walk long distances, because we were walking like 1,700 steps a day, which is very tiring. So if you can walk long distances and you are a biological woman and you are able to emotionally regulate yourself and not come in a weird competition energy, like trying to fight with other girls or put other girls down, and you can handle being triggered, because let's be real, it's very triggering in Salem, especially as witches. Like, there was a lot of really evil things that happened just in general, but especially if, you know, you're a practicing witch or tarot reader or whatever today, like, it's even more triggering. But there's horrible things in there. And then I realized too, like, as we were talking about how it's kind of just like this dark vortex, and then Spirit was like, well, how would you feel like, so Spirit said this to me: imagine the most traumatic experience of your life. Now times it by like 100, because literally they had people in like coffin cells. There were women giving birth standing up while chained in a coffin cell, losing the babies. Like, imagine whatever you've been through in your life. Times it by 100, and then imagine people from the future find the spot where you went through that horrible thing, where your soul still resides because it's having trouble crossing over because of the extreme like death experience that you have. And then the random people from the future are like, huh, I'm going to capitalize off of this and make this a tourist attraction. Wouldn't you be pissed? I would be pissed. That's why there's such a darkness there. Dude, the spirits kill people there all the time. Giles Corey tried to kill me. That motherfucker did not know who he was fucking with, but in the middle of the night, he was crushing down on my chest. I couldn't breathe. They be killing people in the sidewalk, like in the crosswalks all the time. People get hurt all the time. Like, the spirits there are angry, and honestly, I can't blame them. But for too long, that evil frequency has reigned supreme over that land, and that's why we're going there, and that's why we fucking, every time we go there, we turn the land, and we bring a little bit more light in every single time, and we cross over spirits more and more every single time, because I understand they're mad, but that doesn't give you a right to fucking kill someone in the crosswalk. Like, you can be mad, but you don't just get to fucking crush my chest in my sleep trying to kill me in the night. Like, and it was crazy because, like, we were at the spot where supposedly Giles Corey got pressed to death, and I like couldn't breathe. And then our tour guide goes, yeah, so usually when people come to this spot and they feel like they can't breathe, they'll die within the next 3 days. And I was like, not gonna say anything, not gonna say anything, not trying to bring that into my reality. I do not accept that. I do not consent. And then, like, not that night, but I think like 2 nights later, it was like in my dream, I was in this like almost like a Silence of the Lambs hole. Like, you know how he puts the girl in that hole, and I was in the hole, and there were people like trying to get me out of it and like break me up out of it. And when I woke up, like my chest was being crushed. I was gasping for life. I was in a giant puddle of sweat, and there was this big white orb above me that I felt like was Yeshua, like Jesus, and then there was a little white orb next to it that I felt like was a fairy that was supporting me as well. And I came up out of it, and he couldn't kill me. I do think he did have a hand in getting corn, though. I really do. So, but I threw him in a hellscape, which he still resides in my hellscape. So, who's got the last laugh, Jazz Curry? You're never too old to enjoy the journey. Exactly. I love what you channeled earlier. The delusion is thinking it's not possible because everything is possible. Exactly. Fun fact, the dance party was in the same building as the Masonic Temple. Wow, yeah. And at the best Asian restaurant that we're going to again, and we're going to that freaking French pastry like twice. We're gonna go twice. I am a woman and 42. Then you can come, Underdog Tarot. Go read the description, see if it's something you want to do, then you send your application to Lizzie, and then we go from there. Yeah, also 42 isn't old. Lots of walking, exactly. I'm chill. I trust you. Girl, you put miles, and I was like, what? Did I say miles? Oh. I guess I have to fix that in the description too. We didn't walk 107. We didn't walk 1,700 miles. It's like that song, 525,600 minutes. No steps. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you, Kenna. Because no one's gonna sign up if it literally says we're walking 1,700 miles. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Yo, everyone's saying that Dutchie put miles instead of steps. I was like, wow, we walked a lot. Now we'd be dead. Yo, sorry, guys. Sorry. Oh, that's hilarious. Being the oldest of my parents' kids, I'm always here for more evolved female energy in my circle. Hell yeah. Sorry, James. I just can't. If I want to be a good leader, I need to know my limits. And my limit right now is I can only have retreats for women. Not in the future, though. Stick around. Stick around. I'm going to get a nice plot of land. We're going to have healing and festivals, and we'll have co-ed retreats. It's just down the line, right? Down quantum leaping down the line. I was like, 170 miles? 17 miles? That's still a lot. I can't walk that much. That's so funny. Oh my god. I've been to the Holocaust Museum and the Museum of Torture of the Spanish Inquisition, so maybe I'll be okay. Yeah, and we're also taking precautions. Like Lizzie's gonna do spell work for us to ground us, and we're also gonna clear the land before we get there, so we're not just like sitting ducks. I saw it too, and I was like, yo, guys, sorry. Thanks for telling me. Listen, I don't know someone, that's their name, asked who created God. Please tell your thoughts. I don't freaking know. I don't know. But I know this isn't the only universe. When I really pan out, like when I look astrally and I pan out outside of our universe, there's like 11 to 13 other universes in connection with ours. miles are more than kilometers. So I was doing the ultimate math trying to correct it. Yo, sorry guys. No one's going to sign up because they're like, I can't walk 1,700 miles a day. Yo, oh my God. As soon as I get off the live, I'm fixing that. That's hilarious. That's crazy. I got hit at a crosswalk and he had so much time to stop. I legit blacked out and I don't know how I didn't end up almost dead. He hit me so hard. Dude, Cassie, I read your comment and I was like, what the fuck? I didn't get a chance to respond to comments yet, but that's fucked up. I hope you got his information, but good thing you're jacked. Cassie's jacked. For those of you who don't know, she's so fucking buff. Like, good thing you had all that muscle protecting you so you didn't like break your body. It was genuinely like someone who was trying to kill me. Yeah, that's what it sounds like spiritual attack. And God was so there because there was someone who saw the entire thing. Hell yeah, you got a witness. I hope you got his information too. Yeah, sending protection and love. Manifesting big money because that USD to Canadian is annoying. Yeah, I'm sorry, girl. And I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more. That's us. Damn. Yo, that is hilarious. Well, I'll have to bring the protection potion because that's a lot of actions. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, guys. Well, I'm going to get going. We've been on here a long-ass time, and I've got to pee. And I've got to change that. We're not walking 1,700 miles. That is so fucking funny. I got to fix that. Alright. I love you guys. Thanks for everything. And I'll see you for the next live. Remember to like, subscribe, and oh, I'm putting out a pick a card today. If you don't get notified, here's what I hear you do. You unsubscribe, you resubscribe, you hit the bell. So if you're not getting notified of my stuff, that's what you do. Unsubscribe, resubscribe, hit the bell. I'm putting out a pick a card today. I just got to edit it and everything. Salem's up, which got to be fixed, but it's still up. That's so funny. Sorry, that's just hilarious thinking about us. Like, I just have everybody walking, like, from Salem to fucking, like, Florida. I don't know. It's just so funny to think about, but... And Teresa's like, we walked a lot. This is so funny, but... Yeah, like the video. Comment after, too, if you want to help my algorithm. Subscribe if you want more from me, and I'll see you soon. Love you guys. Bye-bye. Have a good day. Goodbye. Have a